Had eyebrows like you wouldn't believe. Would you?
She's got her thoughts.
Good morning. Welcome to NAC TV's Coffee Chat. My name's Lyle Watson, and we're pleased to have three guests with us today joining us on Coffee Chat from the Lions Club in Minnedosa. I'd like to welcome Lorna Hislop,
Thank you.
Matt McLenehan, and his wife Margaret. And we're pleased to have them here, and we're going to be talking about the Lions Club and what they do and what the future is of the Lions Club in Minnedosa. So we thank you for joining us this morning, and if you just stay with us, we'd like to have you with us for the duration of the program. So, Lorna, I'm going to start with you. Lions Club. Where did it start and when? Not the Minnedosa Lions Club, the Lions Club, the
Lions International?
International.
It started in 1917 by a fellow by the name of Melvin Jones. It was in Chicago. And at that time, Chicago, it was, World War I.
Yes.
And there was a lot of social unrest, a lot of needs going on in the community. And at that time, he was the secretary of a business club. It's called the Business Club of Chicago. And it was just businessmen that got together.
Okay.
And their main focus at that time was just to try and grow their businesses. Melvin had a different idea. He figured that we needed to help the people around him. So he went to the club and he talked to them and he said, we've got to change our focus. We need to start serving our communities. They thought it was kind of a good idea, and they reached out to other business organizations around, and they all came together, liked the idea and the focus of what he was proposing. So they decided to move forward with that. And then that was in 1917.
Wow.
1918, they had their very first convention. It was down in Dallas, Texas. And they had these different organizations from across the United States got together and all voted to amalgamate. And one of the organizations that that came to the convention was called the Lions Club of the United States.
Okay.
They liked the name of it, voted to keep the name of it, and hence Lions Clubs was formed.
Good.
Long time ago.
So they had wound up having a double mission, and
Yeah, and I think their focus changed basically from helping and serving themselves to serving their communities and branching out from them. One of the things that actually came up with the Code of Ethics is that no member could financially benefit from becoming a member of the club. So their focus changed from building themselves up
yes.
to helping their community and their neighbors and their friends and where they could help out.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. Matt, when did you join the Lions Club?
I joined in Lumby, BC, and I was in there. I had different situations. I was president, and I was secretary once, and just went through the group. We had a great group there, a lot of fun, and we went to a lot of conventions, and this is in the time when guys were guys, and we could drink and do that kind of stuff, and go down into the States. It was just across the border, so we had a lot of fun in that club. So that's where I joined, and then when I came to town here, or in Minnedosa, what I wanted to do was do my part for the community again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad to see you come back to Minnedosa, and it's good to see you part of the Lions Club, that's for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
He does, Matt does have a bit of Nipawin history. You lived in Nipawin for a few years.
Yeah, 5 years, 6 years. Yeah.
6 years.
So,
he
yeah.
taught up at the collegiate here. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
And Margaret, when did you join the Lions?
I would have been in 2020 when we moved to Minnedosa. I always was kind of involved with Matt in Lumby, BC, where we lived for many years, but I wasn't ever a member. But I decided to join because you're new to the community, you want to meet people, you want to get involved, and and so that's what I did, and haven't regretted a minute of it. I got to tell you, it's lots of fun.
Good.
It's lots of work, but it's lots of fun.
But the work, the word work isn't quite the same as if you're enjoying what you do.
That's right, and it's not work. It's more project orientated, I
Yes.
would say.
Yeah.
So you're working in a specific purpose, like, for example, the pancake breakfast. I was in charge of that.
Yeah.
And that raises money for the community that Lorna sees fit to distribute.
Yeah. Well, you display your passion very well, Margaret. I can tell you're a passionate member of the Minnedosa
Well,
Lions
I
Club.
certainly enjoy it, and it's been a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Lorna, when did you join the Minnedosa Lions Club?
I joined in 2013.
Oh,
I had just finished, volunteering has been a big thing and part of my life. I've always been involved. And I had gone through a stretch when I just thought, I got to step back. I'm tired of doing all this kind of stuff. And begrudgingly, I was dragged to a club meeting one night, and they said, you're going to join? And I went, no, I just need to step back. Well, yeah, that was 2013, and I'm in it right up to my eyeballs, and then some, and it's just been going ever since then. So I love it.
love it.
I love being involved with the club. I love being able to get out there and help, and that's just the nature of me. I just have always been involved doing something for somebody. So
Yeah.
that.
Matt, I'd like to touch on, just listening to you people talk about your joining and being a member of the Lions Club, the social aspect of it in terms of the benefit of your mental, physical, and emotional health. Do you find a benefit from being part of the Lions Club and the socialism that comes with the club and the community?
Yeah. Well, I'll say I'm kind of a selfish person. It makes me feel good, so why not do it?
Yeah, and you've got to look after yourself, and that's kind of what I'm aiming at. There is some benefits.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
For yourself.
And when you get working with a bunch of people and nobody's being paid, or we're all having fun, and it's not work. It's just you be there, show up, and do your part, and everybody does their part, and it works out fantastically. And the Minnedosa Club is very good. I mean, we've got groups of people that you like to be with them. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yes, and a lot of the things I read on the benefits, and I'm going to say I know he and I are the same age. I don't know about you ladies, but Matt and I are close.
We're much younger.
But at our age, for our mental, physical, and emotional needs, that socialization with a Lions Club, or any club for that matter, but it's a big benefit.
Oh yeah.
In terms of us aging and staying young in our mind and our body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's getting more difficult. But
yeah,
what the heck?
It takes you a little longer. Okay, the difference between fundraising projects and community projects. Do you have certain projects, Margaret, that are designated fundraising that you could tell us about?
Yeah, there's the pancake breakfast is one that's done at the Fun Fest in August.
Yes.
So we serve, I think last year we served close to 500 people, pancakes and sausages, juice and coffee, and raised a ton of money, which is used for various and sundry, like bursaries and stuff like that. There's also the dog guide program that raises money specifically for the dogs that are trained to be assistants. They're not therapy dogs. They're support service
dogs,
animals.
yeah.
They're service
Oh, yes,
animals.
yes.
And this is all done voluntarily and paid for by the Lions Club. Not just us, but every Lions Club contributes. That's Lorna can probably tell you more about it than I can, but I do know that there's a new facility being built in Oakville, Ontario, where they train the animals, then they train the people that are going to get the animals. We actually have two
service dogs in Minnedosa.
service dogs in Minnedosa at the moment, all provided by the Lions Clubs. What other fundraisers do we have? We have
Club
the
200.
Club 200 Club. We sell 200 tickets, $120 a piece. And every month something's drawn, and there's 3 prizes. So first prize is $500 or $300.
Yeah,
I never win anything, so I don't know. So anyway, and then whatever's left over is used to fund other projects or other what's the word?
Service projects that we do.
Yeah, other projects in the community. So
Yeah.
yeah. I can't
We
think
do our
of
Lobster Fest. We've been doing
the
it the
Lobster
last,
Fest,
last
that's
couple
right,
of
that
years.
came
We've
back.
been doing
Yeah.
Lobster Fest over there.
that kind of got by
Yeah.
the wayside because of COVID, but then it came back last year.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is very good if you ever want to come.
Well, I'm pleased to say that I've attended a number of your functions, and you mentioned the Fun Fest breakfast, and you people have fun working at it.
Oh,
Well,
definitely.
there, we
yeah.
have fun going to it because I'm coming back to this socialization part being a big part of my life, and as I grow older, it's getting bigger. But the socialization at the Fun Fest breakfast at that community hall is filled from 10 o'clock till 1 or 2, whenever he is finished.
Yeah, it's actually from 7:30 till 10:30, and then the parade happens, you see, so
Yeah.
we have to get out to the parade, so
Yeah, oh yeah, right.
pancakes stop at 10:30.
That's all right. Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, so, but there's other projects that we do that are not specifically fundraisers, they're called service projects. It was actually Wanda Kingdon that got us started doing meals at the Legion once a month. So we prepare the meals, and it's, I don't know, there's usually 50, 60, 70 people come and have a meal, and the money goes to the Legion. So
Yeah, it supports the Legion Auxiliary, the Legion Ladies Auxiliary. So it's our service way of helping the Legion out
Yep.
with keeping them viable so
Yeah.
that they can do their programs
And
as well.
I can witness how good the meals are and how much it's appreciated in the community
Yes.
because Judy and I attend them often throughout the year, that once a year or whenever it is that you guys are up there. Well, we go to the Legion quite often up there. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Well, I know that's a very well accepted program.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
What
And
about some other programs?
we do, we work with the schools and the food bank. So they have a breakfast program that's been going on in the schools to help out the youth. We all know that families struggle these days with, trying to feed their families and what have you. And oftentimes, children end up going to school hungry. And statistics and research has shown that, a young person can't learn if they're worried about, their bellies rumbling and the whole bit. So our Lions Club have been supporting the breakfast program for a number of years. And the last probably 3 or 4 years we got involved through the food bank. We go in and we make pancakes.
Is that at both schools?
It's for the elementary school.
Okay.
And last year we made over, I think it was about 375 dozen pancakes over the year. They freeze them up monthly, and then they give them to the school program so that they can provide breakfast for the students as they're coming in. So we've been involved through the food bank on that. We do help with food, like food drives,
Yes.
collecting food. I think one of our biggest, and I think one of the fun things we did is that COVID hit, and Santa couldn't come to the children, and the children couldn't come to Santa. So the Lions Club got together, and we took Santa around, up and down every street in Minnedosa, and at the same time we collected food for the food bank.
Oh.
And it was very cold, it was very long, but we had such a fun time doing that. But we supported the food bank at the same time as Santa got to get to see the children. And that was an idea that Matt had brought to our club from Lumbee and that. So it was good. But you partner with
And
different...
that's where it's a win-win situation.
It is totally a win-win situation, like I said. We had a very cold Santa by the end of the day. But,
He froze.
he was frozen. a frozen popsicle, but like you said, it was a win-win all the way around on that. And so those types of programs we try and do as much as we can.
That's good to hear.
Canada Day
can I
too.
just-
I started that from Lumbee.
Yeah.
That came from another club, and having cakes and flags and all these decals and all that type of thing. They hadn't done that before, and when I joined that, I was in the Lions, but I went as a representative to the Canada Day thing, and it ended up that they took a lot of my ideas and flew with it, and it's an ongoing thing now. And on that day too, we have our
The
cafeteria,
concessions,
concession
concessions,
booth,
yeah.
and sell hamburgers and that kind of stuff too. So we make
Oh.
money that day too. So
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. You had a
So-
question?
Yeah, no, I did have a comment with regards to service, things that don't actually raise money but contribute to the community. And Lorna mentioned that we do the reading program, which I'm involved in. And there's a few others that are involved in it. So we go into the elementary school, and I'll give a shout out to Mrs. Proven, the grade 2-3 teacher. I go into her class once a week, and she sends out kids to me. We go to the library, they choose books, they read to me, I read to them, and it's to expose them and give them more chances to improve their reading skills. And it's quite fun.
She
They're
loves
so
it.
darn cute, yeah. They're so involved and so excited about it, you know, so enthusiastic about reading. And
Yeah.
some of
yeah.
them need a little more help than others, but they all love it. They
Yeah.
all are very engaged. And the other thing that's a service that doesn't provide any money is the vision screening, which we will be doing at the Royal Manitoba Fair in Brandon in the end of March, I think it is.
First week of April this year.
First week of April.
Yeah.
We go there. The Lions have a booth there, so it's all the clubs, not just Minnedosa. But we provide information about the Lions clubs at that fair, and also we do vision screening. So there's a special camera that you aim at the child, and it takes a picture of their eyes, and it can tell if there's issues with their eyes, or strabismus, or you know, myopia, or
Oh,
any
okay,
kind of thing
yes,
like
yeah.
that. And we give that information to the parent, who can then go to their ophthalmologist or their optometrist and have the child's eyes further tested. So it's
Oh.
just a screening program, but that has been funded very well by the Lions Club. And her sister Donna was the one that got it started, as well as the reading program. Donna's done a lot of work on those two areas. So
Oh.
yeah, so big shout out to Donna.
Yeah. Well, it's there's no doubt that the Lions Club in Minnedosa has left a large footprint over the years. And what are some of the other programs, Matt, that you've been involved in Minnedosa that are currently running and are being successful?
Well, I'm the batter boy for making pancakes.
He's got that down to a science. He can mix that up.
But no, it's not just one thing that you can say that you do. It's
Well, what are some of another program, for example, that you work at for the betterment of your community?
oh,
Can I interject?
huh?
The STARS program.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which one would you?
Who wants to talk
You
about
you go.
So I don't know if you know what STARS is.
Yes,
It's
do,
the
but-
air ambulance that is mostly funded through donations.
Yes.
Some of the money goes to the program from the government, but a lot of it's funded through donations. Now, what happened in last February was one of our members came to the club, Michael Archbutt, who couldn't be here today, brought to the club that he had found out that the STARS program was looking for a helipad to land their helicopter for medevacs from Minnedosa and area, and they couldn't find one. So he brought it to the club and said, got any idea about where we could do this? So we happen to live kind of on an acreage, well, it is an acreage with a huge hayfield in front of it, no wires or anything around it, and I suggested this hayfield, of all things, which is kind of our front yard, basically. Anyway, they came and looked at it. The pilot from STARS came and looked at it. It was run through FAA and approved. So now there is a helipad in our hayfield in front of our house, which got used at the beginning of January. They medevaced a patient out of Minnedosa Hospital. So the STARS helicopter landed in this hayfield. Fire and rescue came, the ambulance came, they transported the team from the helicopter to the hospital, and from the hospital back to the helicopter, and then everybody helped to load the patient into the helicopter and back to St. Boniface Hospital. Probably that medevac from start to finish, from the time the helicopter left Winnipeg and returned to St. Boniface, was maybe an hour and a half, an hour 45 minutes. Yes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing.
Yeah.
So
So is there an actually constructed pad, or do they just
No.
land on the ground as
they
as
land on the ground. The RM of Minto Odana has volunteered to keep the snow cleared from that area. So they come periodically, which I hope they do today because it's been blowing and snowing. And they'll come and clear the pathway, because what happens is that they clear the pathway to the pad, and then the pathway is on our driveway. So that's how we got involved, was that it's our driveway.
Okay.
So yeah, and now it's a permanent structure, which has not been there for I don't know when the last time they were able to have a permanent pad in Minnedosa. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
so-
that's quite an accomplishment and a service to the community and the area too, because you're serving a large area
Yes,
there,
yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah.
With the pad there, yeah. Lorna, there's quite a number of other functions that you are involved in, both fundraising and community service. What are some of the ones in your mind that you might be thinking of?
I think Rockin' in the Fields has got to be a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
We go out and volunteer.
Is that
and
a fundraiser?
Yes
Yeah.
and no. We go and volunteer our hours up there to help out the organization on that, and then in turn the committee makes a donation back to the club for our
Yes,
hours
okay.
and whatever else out there. But it's a fun one. I mean, you go and get to have fun on the hill and listen to the great music and the whole bit. At the same time, you're providing service to help them
Yep.
with theirs. So I always enjoy Rockin' in the Fields. And
So do you get up and sing too? or-
no, they wouldn't want me to sing. Though I have been known to jig around in the booth a couple of times. And well, I shouldn't say I don't sing. I sing in the back corner someplace. So,
Yeah.
but it's a great time for us to get out there. And not only just Lions members out there, we have a lot of community members that come and help us as
Yes.
well. We often talk about just Lions doing things, but you put a call out to the community and say, we need help doing something, and there's always people that step up and help our club with whatever is needed on there. And we are so very fortunate that we have a community that is willing and able to come out and help wherever there's a need on there. So.
Well, just the number of years that Rock in the Fields has been.
Exactly.
It's been a long time.
Yes, it has been. Yeah.
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 Yeah, there's actually quite a few Lions members whose spouses do a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah.
They're not Lions members, but they do. They come out and help.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
One of the other things that our club has gotten involved in I've been involved with it probably since, I would think 2015, is the emergency measures program that our community has got. And
Emergency measures.
Yes, we have an organization. Every community really should have an emergency measures program going in there in case there is some kind of an event that needs to be done. And we were approached probably in about 2015 to see whether or not we would be involved in being part of this organization. And the Lions Club stepped up, and we kind of sort of look after the lodging. So if there's a need for an evacuation or whatever, the Lions Club is responsible for managing that part of the program.
Yep.
So, it's a huge commitment, and we did find over, Minnedosa has had their floods, and we've had the incidents. So we were put into action. So again, our club has stepped up where there's a need.
Yes.
And we've been able to help fill that need and, work along with the community and trying to support those that are needed out there. So
That emergency measures is important.
it is
isn't
a very important one. And more so now when we look at the events that's happening, around our world, around our communities, and that it getting to be something that's more prevalent, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
And we need to be prepared. Everybody needs to be prepared for that.
That preparation, being prepared is a big thing.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt,
And it-
any other programs that you've been involved in that have served the community's needs in Minnedosa?
Well, I'm in the men's shed, but that's nothing to
No,
do
no,
with the
I
Lions.
mean within the Lions.
Within the
Any
Lions?
other projects that?
Well, I think the men's shed was kind of promoted by the Lions Club to get it going in the community to start
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we brought it into the community, and they've kind of taken over and become their own club.
Yeah,
from
Warren
there.
started that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was good. Yeah. No, if I'm called on, I go and work. That's basically it. I mean, I can't think of any other things that we have in the Lions that that I do personally. Well, mind you, I store stuff in my garage. I think everybody does that.
I read someplace, you have a service, I think, the Lions Club, for medical transportation, or did you transport people?
We have had a couple of individuals in town who have needed to be transported to Brandon or to Winnipeg because of a medical situation.
Yes.
So our club has stepped in, and we've had, helped out getting them to and from their appointments
Yes,
on
okay.
there. So it's been an occasion that we have done on that. So
And that's no charge to the...
that's no charge
the-
to the individual,
Yeah.
no.
Well, that's quite a nice service to have available too,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I did there for a while too, deliver food banks out to Newdale and around Minnedosa and that
Oh,
type of
yes.
thing. So yeah. that
Yeah,
was
there's
an-
been a few that aren't able to get into, pick up their hampers and that. So we've kind of come in and helped with that as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So these things
Yeah.
pop up like that,
Yeah, yeah.
needed. So
So
Yes.
there's also, I don't know how much the bursaries are for the high school students, but
We
the
give a
Lions provide
500.
bursaries, 500, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's, at almost every meeting, there's request for funding
Yes.
from one organization or another. And I would say 99% of the requests are granted in some form or another. Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Would you
Yeah.
say that's about right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, the bowling club might need some money,
Yeah.
a little bit of help to go to provincials or something like that.
Is that more aimed at the youth organizations
Youth
within Minnedosa? or-
organizations, school-orientated programs, that kind of thing, yeah.
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 Well, you guys, it sounds like you have accomplished a lot in terms of service to the
yeah.
to the
Yeah, and I
community.
think one of the other things that we should be very proud of is that when Minnedosa was looking at building their new clinic,
Yes.
Minnedosa Lions worked with several of the Lions clubs around the area, Erickson, Sandy Lake, Rapid City, Strathclair, and we joined with the Legion, with the Rotary, with the foundation, and we were able to secure a grant from Lions Clubs International Foundation, LCIF. With a grant, we raised $100,000 between all of our groups, but then we were able to secure another grant for another $100,000. And because it was in U.S. funds, we actually were able to get 125,000 Canadian to put together to try and get our clinic up and running. So I think that's a huge deal for what Minnedosa is able to do. And it serves our communities and the area communities
Yes.
out there, is by being able to provide support to
Yep.
the foundation to be able to bring that new clinic in. And consequently, you have a new clinic, so then you have doctors coming back
Oh,
into the
yes.
community. So it filters down into so many
Oh,
different
yeah.
benefits from the community.
Yeah, Minnedosa can be very proud of their hospital and the medical clinic, and
Yeah.
that's no doubt about it.
And it's been augmented for sure by having access to the stars, that
Yes.
they
Yeah.
can come now with ease to medevac patients if needed, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, one place that when we visit Minnedosa, whether it's with family or friends, or sometimes just Judy and I, we go to the viewing tower, the lookout tower.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Was that was built and maintained by Lions Club, was it not?
Yes, as far as I know, that was there before I came,
Yeah.
but we've been up on top of it, and it's got a beautiful view. I mean, it's well worth it. We had to redo the sign this year, but ongoing maintenance too, like Harvey Wedgwood, he had to go out and fix some steps and that type of thing. So those are kind of things that are done behind the scenes, you
Yeah.
know. So
Well, that's another an example of sometimes we take things for granted, but there is always somebody or some organization behind having that there to
Yeah.
serve the
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
and I know we thoroughly enjoy it every year going up and just
Yeah.
taking in the view, and I
Yeah.
always think about the fact that there was lines that I see their sign up that when you walk
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. We've
Yeah,
had a
so-
couple of playgrounds that we've been able to help support as well. We've done the Horsby one up on the northeast corner of town, and then the one in the southwest corner of town. So those ones of, the youth in that are out there always playing and enjoying that kind of a thing. But,
So when you say you swim, that was to buy the equipment.
Yeah.
to sell.
the southwest one, we partnered, the equipment was there. And I don't know really who started that one, but it was in need of refurbishing in that. So the Connect Club at that time we did have a small Connect group in town that were working on that. We partnered with them, and then we refurbished that one on the southwest corner out there. We put in a new, refurbished the swings and the old merry-go-round and what have you. So we got put a couple benches in up there. So, but the one on the northeast one, the Lions Club years and years ago bought the equipment on that one and put that in.
And there again, it's there for a long time.
It is exactly for generations to be able to use.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned Cadet Club. Did the Lions ever, in Minnedosa, did you ever have a Lion Elves Club?
We never did. As far as I, going back in history and that, Minnedosa never ever did. Our club actually was chartered in 1978, and we had 30 members at that time. That's chartered our new club at that time. So, yeah, and many of them are still around. I was looking at names and I'm going, oh yeah, they're still around in Minnedosa and that. So yeah, it's been around for quite a number of years. And
so ladies' membership was always an option in Minnedosa from the time of charter then?
No. Lions International didn't recognize women until 1987. And then it allowed women to become members. And at that time, it was really more of the Lionels, the Lionesses clubs at that time.
Yep.
And then they amalgamated and said that, they do as much work as what the men do, so why separate them? So they became, merged clubs where men and women are in the same clubs.
Yeah.
Minnedosa had our very first woman Lions member in 2010. And 2010, and that was Wanda Kingdon. She joined. Yeah, her husband. They had moved back to Minnedosa, so the story goes. And her husband was a Lions member, and she said, "I want to join." So they opened the club up and allowed her to join. And in 2014, she was the very first woman president. So
wow.
Yeah. So today we have 31 members in Minnedosa. 15 are women and 16 are men. So we're kind of half and half right now.
Wow.
Yes.
That's something to be
It
happy
is.
about.
It is very, yes, very much so.
And you got one more member now, currently, than you had when you chartered.
That's right. Yeah. we found over the years, like Lions clubs tend to, like every club, you have your highs and then you go right down to lows and what have you. I think just before COVID, our membership was down to about 13 or 14. And there was concern, are we going to be able to stay viable? COVID hit and whatever else. And once COVID seemed to kind of dissipate there for a while and things were coming back, our membership has just grown. It is, and it's been amazing to see the club grow. Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say that the Minnedosa Lions Club is one of the few clubs and organizations within our rural parts of Manitoba that actually have grown.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
We're getting younger people too, which is great,
Yeah.
And, like our treasurer's, I don't know what age she is, but a lot younger than us. So that's, it's good to see that.
Yes.
And, it's like I say, since I've joined, we've lost a few and I gained a few. So, and like I say, the ones that are joining are younger. So that makes me happy because, it takes some work off of me.
I'm just comparing different towns. Well, I'll use Nipawin for example. As you know, unfortunately, the Lions Club here has folded last year. And the Rotary Club is kind of struggling, but kind of holding its own. Yet in Minnedosa, the Rotary Club has folded, and the Lions Club is certainly holding your own quite well.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have a concern of attracting new members at this time.
Yeah, and that's all over Canada. Like in Lumbee, when I was there, in Vernon, BC, they were struggling. They're really struggling, but in Lumbee, because the group that we had was a lot of fun, so we picked up there. We had about 28 in our club out there. So, but like you say, it's harder to get volunteers these days. It's like my son is quite a volunteer, but the other 3 boys are the rest of them don't volunteer at all. So I mean, they just don't have time anymore because they have kids. Well, I don't know where that came from.
That's a hard one to
Yeah.
accept.
Yeah, but you know, it is a concern. Yeah. So
Margaret, what are your thoughts on membership, and how do you increase your numbers?
Well, doing something like this for sure is a big help, you know, promoting our club. I have to say kudos to Gord Kingdon and Lorna Hislop and a few other members. They are dynamic leaders,
yeah.
and they push very hard. They include everybody. They involve us in a lot of projects. Sometimes, you know, you're hanging on by your nails. But you know, I have to say personally, if I hadn't joined the Lions Club, it would have been a very dreary few winters here because you're not doing very much. It's, you know, it provides you a social outlet. It provides you with a sense of contributing and being appreciated. And I have to say, I really enjoy the Lions Club, and I urge anybody to join.
Lorna, what are your thoughts about building membership? You had mentioned that the Lions International, is it? Or
Right.
is working with Minnedosa at this time?
Lions International has got a focus on right now. Their focus is that we would and our goal right now is that we would like to have 1.5 million across the world by 2027. The more members that you can have in your club, the more people that you serve.
Yes.
And that's the ultimate goal, is what we can do to help our communities to grow and to be there for them. So the more membership that we have got, the bigger membership that we have got, the more people that we're able to serve and to help out. So that's kind of where their focus is of over the last couple of years. But Lions International, Lions clubs, whether we're, you know, in our own local community, whether we're in our province, whether we're, you know, worldwide, have done amazing service projects out there.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be a big deal where we're going out to build hospitals and that. Just being able to go out and shovel a sidewalk for your neighbor means a lot. And I think people just need to go back and just be those people.
Yes.
Just to be able to go out and help somebody.
Yes.
Yes, you're helping your neighbor, but the feel good that you have at the end of the day when you know that you've gone out to help somebody, that's where you get that warm fuzzy inside of you.
Pretty hard to put a price on
It is definitely hard at that. And I understand that, you know, young people are very touring all over the world today and, you know, trying to, busy lives, right? You know, you've got parents, you know, both parents working nowadays, and they've got kids involved into everything. But at the same time, I think we need to take a step back and get those young people back into helping our communities and helping, because, you know, if we don't start helping our neighbors and our friends, then I'm afraid of where the world is going to be at the end of the day.
Yes.
You know, it's very important that we do that. And I think as a Lions Club International, we have to change our mentality about how that goes. When I joined and started doing a lot of volunteering work, it was because I was a stay-at-home mom with 4 children. And my husband was on the road all the time. So it was my outlet to be able to go out and have a conversation with an adult rather than a bunch of children, right?
Mm-hmm.
People nowadays are busy. But yet at the same time, and you know, they don't always want to sit in a meeting type of a thing. But at the same time, if you were to say to them, we need help doing da-da-da-da-da, there's people that will come out and give you a hand.
Yes.
So it is the focus of our upper echelon of the clubs, of the organization, is that we have to rethink how we do things to get people involved, the younger people, to come back into and help out. There's things called cyber clubs out there. You know, people like to be on the internet.
Yes.
So these clubs join together. They have got, I think one club in Ontario has got almost 300 members from all over the world. They meet by Zoom.
Wow.
But when they want to go and do a service project, they go into their community and help out. However, maybe they're volunteering at the food bank.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing that, or maybe they're going to work at the services to seniors, or maybe they're volunteering at the hospital. But they meet maybe once or twice, you know, every 2 months by Zoom, and they're a club.
Wow.
We have clubs.
That's interesting.
It is neat to be able to see that, but that's where a young person, you know, that would fit into their lifestyle.
Yeah.
There is specialty clubs that are popping up all over the place where they focus on just one project. Maybe they're a quilting club. There are a bunch of women who get together and quilt all the time, and their quilts go to help save the cancer, patients. That's their focus. That's all they ever do is just make quilts. They get together and do that. But they've become a Lions Club because there's benefits to be able to join a Lions Club. Maybe they need funding to help buy their fabric.
Yes.
So Lions International is evolving over the years, and we need to keep evolving so that we can bring the people who want to help back into our organization. Again, like you said, you're serving your community. You're giving back in one form or another.
Yeah.
So it's neat to see the evolve it is doing.
So you do have a connection with the other Lions clubs in the district, within your district?
We do, we do. Minnedosa is part of 5M13 district,
Yes,
which is all of Manitoba.
yes,
And we currently have 46 clubs within our district. Our district is a part of a bigger thing called a multiple, which is Manitoba and Minnesota.
yes.
So that's part of our multiple. And yes, we do lots of things that we network with them, what have you. And the network within the Lions community is fantastic. If I may, I'd share a story with you.
Yes.
I heard the other day there was a grandparents in Rossburn were talking to a Lions member out there, and they were saying that their grandson was struggling with some medical issues, but they were in Montreal and they didn't know how they were going to. They were upset because they couldn't support them.
Yes.
So that Lions member contacted a district governor, who contacted a club out in Quebec, who contacted another club out in Montreal. That club in Montreal has reached out to that family. That's because that's where that family is with their son, and they have now connected and they're supporting the family. They have financially supported the family. They have been an emotional support for the family.
Okay.
So Lions connect all over the world, and you're not just a little club within your own community. The reach that Lions have is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
stories
phenomenal.
like that is wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, the network itself, we talk about network and we laugh about it all the time, but it's there.
It's there.
And you just have to, reach out, I guess, in a way, because somebody knows somebody who knows somebody,
Yes.
type of a thing. So,
Well, it's amazing how we can get together, and
Yeah.
maybe the world isn't quite as big as we think it is. sometimes.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, as usual, our time slips away on us, and I think we've covered some ground anyway. And
Oh,
Covered a lot of ground.
we've probably other things we could talk about for another half hour, but under the circumstances, our time has run out on us today. And Matt, I'm going to come back to you and ask you for your closing thoughts on our program today.
Okay, well, I joined the Lions when I was about 42 or that, so I was a young person then, and I think those are the type of people that we need is young guys, coming out to help out. But I had a lot of fun when I was that age, and I'm still having a lot of fun at my age now. So Lions is doing me what I wanted, is being very selfish and making me feel good.
Well, and that's good to hear. And I don't think it's being selfish. I think it just makes common sense that you're looking after yourself, working with people of all ages. I think that's a good point, yes. Yeah. Margaret, your closing thoughts for our program today.
Well, my closing thoughts. Okay. I'm very happy to be a Lions member. I think that most people would really enjoy it if they gave it a try. And I urge you all to join. I'm going to keep it short and sweet.
And I think that's a nice closing thought. And you talk about giving it a try. And if there's any members or any people out there that want to give it a try, it doesn't mean you have to sign up today.
That's
does it?
true,
I mean,
yeah.
you can come out to a few meetings and test the water
That's correct.
Mhm.
and make
Yeah.
it work. Well,
Yeah.
good luck to
Yeah,
both
we
of you.
suck a lot of people in that way.
Lorna, you're going to have the final closing thought for our program today.
Final closing thought. Where there is a need, there is a lion. And I think that as simple as that sound, that is so true. And we're open to everybody and anybody. And as Margaret and Matt have both said, just come out and see who we are. The benefits that you reap by helping your neighbor and your friends gives you back so much more than you could ever give.
And you might even gain some new friends.
And we might even gain some new friends, exactly.
Well,
So, but thank you very much for allowing us to come and visit with you today.
Yeah.
well, it's been a real pleasure on my behalf, and I'm hoping that our viewers enjoy the program too, as much as we've enjoyed our coffee chat here today. And we thank you for coming, and we wish Minnedosa Lions Club the very best in the coming future. And a big thank you from the Minnedosa area for the legacy of the groundwork and of all the projects that you've been involved in and the fundraising and what you do for the good of society. And so we thank you on behalf of Minnedosa and to Lions Clubs all over for that matter. So with that, our time is up today. We hope that you've enjoyed the program, and again, if there's anybody out there that's interested in getting more information, just give any one of these three people a call, or wherever you live, there's probably a Lions Club close by. So don't be shy about contacting them, and maybe there's a spot for you. Till next time, my name is Lyle Watson. Stay healthy, stay happy. Have a good day.
Ching.